Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we're actually going to do another Subnautica video, and today, I guess you could say this is going to go into the survival playlist, but this is Can Shuri from the MCU beat Subnautica. Now, the reason why we're using MCU Shuri is because comics is a little bit overpowered to the point where she could actually, like, take out Spider-Man villains, and it's pretty simple and pretty easy for her. But again, Subnautica is a game that's more so focused on someone's intelligence, patience, and honestly their perseverance. You can complete this game in, I think, just about under a couple hours and a couple minutes here. So it really does depend on, like, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on a lot of things here. So it is what it is. So we're going to be doing Subnautica, and unlike in the last video where I went with Galissapod, we're actually going to explore Subnautica Sub-Zero as well. And let's really talk about MCU Shuri and her intelligence, right? We're not going to talk about her, how she's like able to beat certain characters and stuff, because that's not really prevalent to the scenario. But Shuri is able to prepare herself for Namor by actually trapping him in a Wakandan, I think it was like a Wakandan jet or something like that, and actually was able to dehydrate him and basically use biological warfare to beat him. Keep in mind, Shuri invented most of the things in Wakanda. She's the top of the top when it comes to scientists here. Even trying to find a way to cure T'Challa's sickness, but unfortunately she couldn't, and unfortunately T'Challa died. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, by the way. May he rest in peace. And Shuri is also considered smarter than Tony because she not only thought about inventing, or at least, how advanced vision was, but she was also like wondering and questioning them, like, why didn't y'all just program the synapses to work collectively? Like, how did y'all think about making him, but not improving upon it as you're making him? Y'all had enough time to do it. You might say, oh, well, they were going to deal with Ultron. But the thing is, they had a couple days to find Ultron. They could have improved vision by then. So Shuri not only makes things, but she improves upon the design or thinks a step further, making her one of the smarter characters in the MCU. Now let's talk about how she would fare in Subnautica. Now obviously Shuri crash lands with the Aurora, and some things just happen to the survivors left and right. People get eaten by a Reaper Leviathan, which unfortunately it's just probably one of the most horrifying ways to go. And there are also chelicerates and so on and so forth here. Now Shuri would probably make herself a diving suit almost immediately here, and there's really no ifs, and or buts about it. But I definitely think Shuri would probably be able to, I guess, reach the comms of some of the other survivors or some of the recordings of the other survivors here and find out there are Reaper Leviathans, in the area. I don't really see there's any ifs, and or buts about that, but I still think she would try to make her way to the Aurora. Now you might say, okay, how would she get there if, excuse me, if Reaper Leviathans are there? Now, this may be like a gambling thing, but I definitely could see how they use chargers to distract them, and I actually could see Shuri making an advanced version of it. I think that before the Aurora could crash land and she makes her way to a life pod, she would probably have like maybe a sonic version of it or something. Kind of like her, her Panther gauntlets in Black Panther 1. I actually think Shuri would make something very similar to this, if not make the same thing in general. However, it would go off as kind of like I guess you could say like an endless noise bomb, if something like that. Now, making her way onto the Aurora, I definitely think she would be able to stop the explosion, like completely. I think she would already know how the ship works, how it functions, how it's put together and stuff, and she would be able to stop the explosion. Now, this is where I also think Shuri would actually make the Sea Moth here. The reason why I would say she would make the Sea Moth here is because the ship has all the materials she needs, and she's easily smart enough to create anything she wants out of it. I mean, they turned vibranium, a meteorite of indestructible metal, into whatever they want. She made the Panther suit. She made half of the equipment and vehicles in Wakanda. I think it's pretty safe to say here she would be able to make a Sea Moth. And again, I think she would also improve it for predators and stuff. I definitely could see her adding the shock module, but I also could see her using cloaking tech. I actually think that would also be pretty important, considering Wakanda is able to create like this mirage tech to pretty much hide their civilization. Again, I think it is very simple and very straightforward here for Shuri to either use or maybe make the Cyclops instead. Maybe she'll go a step further. Again, she is a character that takes things to the next level. She's not someone that just stops there and be like, okay, we'll stay here for a while, then we'll improve later on. No, she's like, okay, I improved here. Now let's see if I can do this upon it and then go further with it. And again, I definitely could see her making both, maybe combining one into the other, where the Sea Moth is a detachable part to the Cyclops. Again, it's not impossible for, us to really think about this, because again, it's just her character. It's in her nature, if you will, for her to really improve upon certain things, to basically build off what she created and improve upon it. So again, I do think the Sea Moth and the Cyclops would definitely be improved to a large degree. I could also see Shuri collecting DNA samples from some of the creatures and studying them. I definitely think she'll probably take a Ghost Leviathan egg. She'll probably take a DNA sample from the gargantuan Leviathan skeleton. And again, I think the ocean part would be easy for her now that she has a vehicle to get around, and she would probably already establish a like miniature base or something like that. This is where we also have to pretty much talk about the Arctic environment, where it's actually pretty good for her. I definitely could see her maybe killing a snow stalker or two to get some, warm, some fur and all that good stuff, just to make sure she doesn't freeze to these sub-zero temperatures, all right? So after making her probably just a decent vehicle to go on, I definitely could see her encounters with an ice worm. And I think she's quick enough to react and get out the way here. Or again, her first encounter with an ice worm could be through a a snow stalker, where she actually sees one get eaten. Now, the thing is, these ice worms, but believe it or not, actually do have a natural predator, and it's the frozen leviathan. The frozen leviathan is actually a creature that would prey upon the ice worms here. And I actually think that the ice worms really wouldn't be too much of a problem for her, especially once she gets a hold of the thumper. And again, I think she would really improve upon it. You see, the thumper probably would be an internal bomb as well, with them being able to, well, they pretty much go under the thumper and pretty much eat it. So I think Shuri would probably improve upon that and turn into a bomb. Keep in mind, this is a girl that makes the best of the best when it comes to gadgets for her and her people. She made the vibranium spears. She made, she was supposed to have wings in Black Panther 2. So again, she could definitely make a thumper into an internal bomb for the for the ice worms here. Now, as for other creatures like the snow stalkers, I could probably see her keeping one, maybe taming one. Considering there was a person that survived there with them taming a snow stalker and like keeping it, like it was living in the same house as it. So again, I could see Shuri possibly doing that, but let's say for the story's sake, or basically for the game's sake, or keep it pretty much the same as the game mechanic, she doesn't do that. Well, I definitely see her making her way to the void waters, or the Arctic area waters, dodging things like the void leviathan, definitely the reaper, not the reaper leviathan, I think it was like the void reaper leviathan or something like that. And again, she'll be able to dodge it, she could avoid it. I definitely could see her having cloaking tech as well and improving upon it. And I could also see her interacting with the glow whales. And I think the glow whales are probably going to be one of the best interactions that she's going to have on here. I definitely could see her taking the eggs as well, and maybe even raising a couple of her own. Basically just keeping them, in this tank, kind of like her own little fish tank, except with whales that kind of exceed the blue whale size. Yeah, I know, it's pretty crazy, ain't it? But again, this is Subnautica. You're allowed to keep creatures that exceed the size of our own modern day blue whales. It's absolutely insane here. Now, you guys might be wondering how big her base would be. Now, I don't think her base would be really big here. And the reason why is because I don't think Shuri would want to draw any unwanted attention, like from Reaper Leviathans or Void Leviathans, Chelicerates, Void Chelicerates, and stuff like that. I just don't really see her drawing attention to herself like that. She would build in a much safer area, though. And now let's address the Kara Plague. Now, in the last one, I didn't really address it because I didn't think it was really necessary. However, the Kara Plague is a big part of the game here. Now, I do think Shuri would probably analyze the Frozen Leviathan, which I think would actually be the best case scenario for her, as this is one of the few creatures that is honestly fine. Well, not fine. It's already frozen and possibly dead as well. But again, it really they're able to kind of cure it from the Kara Plague and stuff. So I would see Shuri taking whatever they can give to the whatchamacallit, the Frozen Leviathan here, and definitely making it into a cure for herself here. Probably a temporary one, but again, nevertheless, a cure is a cure. You know, even if it's somewhat temporary here. And I definitely could see her making her way to the magma chambers or the magma caverns, the lava caverns, whichever one you guys want to call it. Now, the reason I do think she would have a pretty simple time here is because you don't really see the sea dragon leviathans just yet. When you first enter there, after like playing some parts of the game myself, you really don't see them all like that here. And even if the sea dragons do pose a problem, I could definitely see Shuri analyzing her environment and finding out that the sea dragons are capable of killing and eating, Reaper Leviathans. And I think Shuri would then take advantage of this. I definitely could see her struggling to get past the Reaper Leviathans the Sea Dragon Leviathans at first here. But then once I really think she takes a look at her environment, is able to analyze the situation, I think she'll have it. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I definitely think that she would be able to, have it like it's easy. I definitely could see her luring a Reaper Leviathan down into the area and just having it be killed from there. The Sea Dragon Leviathans actually go out of the way to hunt down these Reaper Leviathans as prey, probably feeding them for weeks, if not years on end. And they probably just don't hunt as much down there because they probably use the Reaper Leviathans as a sustainable food source, Now, when it comes to the Emperor Leviathans, I definitely could see Shuri figuring a way out to honestly just get it out of there. Get the mother out when it's ready, and would definitely be able to get the children out as well to have Sea Emperor Leviathans just roam the sea. All right. So, yeah, I honestly think that she would have an easy time during this game. Now, do I think she would struggle? Yes. I do believe that she would struggle, and I definitely believe that she would have a very hard time being able to get past some of the Leviathans, but I definitely think she's smart enough and definitely creative enough to where she really wouldn't have to struggle all like that, if you guys get what I mean. But anyway, that's going to be all for today here, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.